Hi everyone, I'm back to what if Obi-Wan and Anakin, what if Anakin and Obi-Wan killed each other on Mustafa? Oh, great. This would be nice. I've seen videos where what if Anakin killed Obi-Wan on Mustafa, but this is a new one. What if they killed each other? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I'll have Fantasy Folklore channel in the description below as always. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and check out my reaction playlist for more of my other reactions in the playlist. Now let's get started.
Let's start the story during the intense fight on Mustafa between brothers Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Anakin stands across from Obi-Wan, who's just professed that the fight is over and that he has the high ground. But Anakin stands on his platform, feeling the dark side pulsate through his veins, and he knows his power is superior to his old master. He jumps towards Obi-Wan and goes to somersault in the air, but Obi-Wan collects all the energy he has left and blasts Anakin back with the Force as he flies through the air, heading towards the lava pool below and his imminent death. Anakin reaches out with the Force, and the only thing he can latch onto is Obi-Wan, and uses the Force to pull him towards him as they both fly through the air, straight into the lava lake of Mustafa, and the Chosen One and his master were dead. Padme wakes up with R2-D2 next to her as she starts to remember all that's happened. She looks around and calls out to Obi-Wan and Anakin, but no one answers. She gets up to look around, but looks up to see a Republic ship coming to land on the platform. She suspects Organa has come for her, but she was severely mistaken. As Anakin died, Palpatine felt a disturbance in the Force and traveled to Mustafa immediately. He lands down his Republic ship and exits to find Padme and R2 waiting, with Padme stepping backwards and muttering no under her breath. Palpatine's eyes go yellow as his smile widens, and he orders his troops to bring her back onto his ship. He follows the trail of the Force to the bank of the lava lake, where he feels it ends. He reaches out with the Force and can sense that this is the grave of Anakin Skywalker, but also his master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Palpatine was disappointed. He wanted Anakin to succeed him, and thought he was the only one with the power to do this, but he's perished alongside his master. This gives Palpatine another opportunity. He has Padme, the twin children, and no one to stop him from taking them for himself. Padme is disposed of after she gives birth, and the children are kept close to Palpatine, next to his office in the Jedi Temple, and has them cared for and raised by droids. For the time being, he spends his time establishing the logistics of his empire, but he has to deal with the problem of the remaining Jedi. For many years prior, he's been secretly training Sith warriors to be his Inquisitors to hunt down the Jedi. The Grand Inquisitor leads them, but now with Vader gone, they don't have the strength to hunt down the stronger Jedi. He thinks on this problem, and knows it only has one solution. He contacts Darth Maul, and offers him everything. Not only power beyond his imagination, but also the opportunity to hunt down and kill Kenobi, and enact his revenge on the Jedi that took everything from him. Of course, Palpatine knows that Obi-Wan is dead, but Maul doesn't. He leads the Inquisitors, and they begin hunting down the remaining Jedi around the galaxy. In this timeline, Yoda never hears from Obi-Wan, so assumes he died and Anakin lived. But they also don't have the twin children, and thus no future hope for the Jedi Order. He has to change his plans, and this time will have to focus on rebuilding the Jedi Order in secret. He spends the next couple of years finding and bringing surviving Jedi to his haven on Dagobah. He chooses that planet since it has an inherent connection to the dark side, so would mask the presence of the light. Jedi that he managed to save were Quinlan Vos, Oppo Rancisis, Caleb Doom, Luminara Unduli, Taron Malicos, Ahsoka Tano, Caloran Beck, Ser Junda, Endo Cordova, Jocasta Nu, and many more. Instead of attacking the Empire straight away, Yoda and the surviving Jedi wait until the rebellion gathers significant strength so that they can rival the Empire. They don't want to expose themselves too early and get wiped out. They've heard no news of Anakin and Darth Vader, which makes Yoda suspect that Palpatine killed him, but he also looks back at the mistakes he made in the past and lives with deep regret and guilt. He gets updates from Mon Mothma and Bail Organa about the state of the Empire and galaxy and keeps the Jedi informed. They continue the training of the younglings and Padawans, and the strength of the Jedi slowly increases. Palpatine takes good care of Luke and Leia and begins training them in the dark side of the Force once they reach 6 years old, and corrupt them with it from the beginning. Their potential in the Force rivaled that of their father, and Palpatine was delighted with how it had all turned out. He was impressed with Luke's strength, and when he reached 10 years old, could beat a fully grown adult in one-on-one combat. This strength translates into his lightsaber combat, and even gave Palpatine a challenge sometimes. Leia showed an affinity for Sith alchemy, a devastating and cruel art, and Palpatine taught her about the Sith sorcerers of old, and many spells and incantations she could use in her arsenal. He taught them about the Sith, their history, but also gave them political training, as to be a Sith, you had to become a master of manipulation, not just a warrior. They completed their Sith training at 18 years old, loyal to Palpatine and the Empire, and they become his top enforcers. No one could stop him now, not with the Skywalker twins by his side. However, at this time, the rebellion attacks the Imperial facility on Scarif and successfully steals the Death Star plans. The rebels begin planning their attack.
Did you know that there's a solar eclipse coming in April of 2024?
And successfully steals the Death Star plans. The rebels begin planning their attack on the Death Star, and Bail Organa knows it's time. He contacts Yoda and the Jedi Order, and tells them the climax of the war is now, and their help is needed. The Jedi join the rebels in their Jedi cruisers, and the attack on the Death Star begins. Palpatine is situated in his Imperial dreadnought with Luke and Leia, and feels a disturbance in the Force as the rebel fleet comes out of hyperspace and towards the Death Star. He can sense the Jedi are with them, and knows this is what Master Yoda must have been doing this entire time. He smiles as he realizes the Jedi have no idea what they're about to come up against. The Rebel and Imperial fleets engage each other in battle, with the sound of TIE fighters and X-Wings filling the space. They head towards the Death Star, hoping to take advantage of the flaw in its creation. However, the Jedi break off and head towards Palpatine's ship to deal with the Emperor. Palpatine commanded his forces to back down and let the Jedi enter. Yoda was surprised by this move from Palpatine and thought maybe he didn't realize how many Jedi were coming for him, but nonetheless, they made their way towards him. They land and fight their way through the Imperial troops towards Palpatine, but Yoda feels like something is wrong. The dark side is too strong on this ship for one person alone. Maybe Anakin really did survive. If that was the case, they would have a problem. But there were 30 of them, and thought this would be enough to take them on. But as they enter his throne room, he stands there alone and welcomes the Jedi in. They funnel into the room, lightsabers ignited, with the intent of taking out the Emperor here and now. Palpatine congratulates them on their effort, but tells Yoda his decades of preparing for this moment have been for naught, as he has also been preparing. Yoda senses it just as it happens, as Luke and Leia unconceal their presence in the Force, and the dark side floods the Jedi. The twins ignite their crimson lightsabers and start chopping down Jedi like flies. Yoda looks in front at Palpatine in fear, who's simply laughing. He decides to join the fun and ignites his own lightsaber to fight Yoda. The two repeat their climactic duel years ago. However, Palpatine's power has only grown, and the Grand Master of the Jedi Order has weakened with old age. Palpatine disarms Yoda and holds his lightsaber under his chin. The Jedi looks behind him to see Luke cut down Quinlan Vos, the last of the remaining Jedi. And the last thing that'll go through his mind was how the extinction of the Jedi Order that's existed for over 30,000 years was his fault. Palpatine brings his blade down on him, and the Jedi are gone. Palpatine feels euphoric. Finally, his ultimate goal of Jedi extinction has been completed, and the Sith will rule the galaxy until the end of time. He goes to revel in his victory, but he's thrust back with the Force against the window, as he looks down to see the twins have turned their blades against him. Luke releases Palpatine, who ignites a second blade. Palpatine expected their betrayal one day, but thought he'd have more time to prepare. The apprentices have challenged the Master, in concordance with the rule of two. Luke rushes towards Palpatine, as Leia casts the Force Drain on him, reducing his connection to the dark side of the Force. They thrust their lightsabers at each other with murderous intent. Leia joins the fight, and Palpatine is instantly on the defensive. He trained these two, so knows their techniques, habits, and quirks like the back of his hand. However, he might have trained them too well. Luke casts a Force net towards Palpatine, who cuts it in half to see Leia coming at his left. He blasts her with lightning, which she blocks, but is stopped in her tracks. But Leia drops her lightsaber and catches the lightning and lets it course around her body, and it turns from its normal blue to a deep red. Palpatine's never seen anything like this before, and Leia redirects the lightning towards him, and Palpatine goes to block, but before it hits, Luke force chokes Palpatine, stopping him from doing this, and causes the lightning to hit. It completely burned the outer layer of flesh, as the Sith Lord wriggles in pain. Leia pulls him up in the air with the Force, and throws his body towards Luke, who cuts Palpatine in half, and the twins ascend the throne of the Sith, the Empire now theirs. Thanks for watching this video. Part 2 will be the next video on the channel, so it will be out in a couple of days, so make sure to stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out What If Darth Vader Resurrected Padme, or What If Order 66 Failed. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I love seeing and replying to the comments, so tell me what you thought of the video. And wait for part 2, it's going to be a very exciting end to the story, and I'll see you all next time.
Yep. Oh, that's the end of that reaction. But yeah. Oh yeah. We do this. But yeah, that's the end of that reaction. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And yeah, when it does make part 2, I'll make sure to do the reaction on part 2 as well. So yeah, this will be part 1, and then when the part 2 comes out, I'll make sure I make a reaction on part 2. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget to check out my playlist for my other reactions too. And I'll put this channel in the description below. Bye for now, and I'll make sure to react to part 2 when it comes out. Bye for now.